Good morning, Facebook. Here today looking at Psalms chapter 62, looking at verses 3 through 5, and you see how David goes more in depth in how this situation is affecting him from a personal standpoint. You see in verses 3 and 4, you see how David describes how not only is it affecting him, but the pain that is entering into his life because of this situation. You see in verse 3, he describes how it's attacking him from a physical aspect, how he says, how long is my back going to be against the wall? How long will all these people come against me? How long will they spit all these lies and accusations towards me? How long do I have to deal with every single lie coming against me? How long do I have to deal with everything in my life that I hold so near, that I hold so dear, being ripped from me? How long, oh Lord, do I need to deal with this gut-wrenching pain? You see, in this moment, it feels like David's world has completely fallen apart. David has lost everything in his life that had meaning, everything in his life that had value, and David is left in a weak, destitute, and desperate state. David is desperate to find peace. He's desperate to find joy. He's desperate to find a solution in this situation. But you see the real game changer, the thing that we don't expect. When you look at verse 5, how the whole situation, how the whole dynamic of that passage, how it completely changed. Because you see about David's pain, how great it is from a human aspect. And you think from a human mindset, you're going to do what it takes to get out of that. You're going to try to find a solution by any means necessary. But you see in verse 5, you see David's response. And his response is, even if this situation don't clear up, even if it doesn't get better, even if the gates of hell continue to ravage my life, even if I lose more things out of my life, still will I look to you. Still will I claim to you. Still will I believe that you are who you say you are. Still will I believe that you are on that throne. Still will I believe in my heart that you are not only the creator, but that you are the sustainer of all things. See, David knows what it's like to be in this kind of a situation, and he knows what it takes. He knows what it leads to follow that human mindset to find a solution and a way out of our issues. He knows that the human strength leads to a path that's worse off than you began. David knows that if he were to follow his own strength to find a way out, that he would put himself in a mess that is much worse, much more severe than where he is now. But he knows that God can make a way. When David can't do it, God can do it because he's there. He's always been there, and God is always in control no matter what we feel. You see, David's devotion here is not situational. It's not circumstantial. It's not based on everything in his life. It's based solely on the love of God.